right here, right now. If we make local locked right now, just send in any question you want us to ask the guest artist live and direct. Jatang, send it on social media at Reggae Iration, at SHEM, at
DJ SWEETKAY.
Yes, remember also we are entering into the second hour. So if you have any reggae requests you want us to play for you, just send in the question. Alafu tutakuwa na play live and direct. But right about now, greetings Jatang.
Blessings and greetings. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, Manze. I'm doing fine. I really appreciate you giving us this opportunity and just accepting our request to join us live today on Reggae Iration show. I really appreciate that.
Man, same way. Give thanks for having me. It's an honor, man, for real.
Right. So we've played just one of your new songs. It got released 9 days ago. All right. You featuring Bugul, and also before that we played the Digital Degeneration. So before we get into this new track, just a little bit about the first track, because it exploits the concept of the society moving into the unnatural way, or the unnatural order, as the new world order, as many may say. What really inspired you to exploit the concept of digital degeneration into this first track, and also just in general naming your album Digital Degeneration?
Yeah, man. Well, to be honest, it was the music, it was the sound initially. It was because most of the instruments that I'm using and the sounds that I'm using for the album and my productions, because this album is all self-produced, it's mostly digital sounds, and I came to a point where I realized that I had been kind of running from that, because I'm a musician, so I come from a live music kind of background.
Right.
So being limited to digital sounds and instruments was not my initial intention, So I think my first productions, I was trying to run from that, and then I realized that if I embrace that digital aspect, and just balance it with some live sounds, then it kind of works.
Right.
So that was the original concept, and then I thought, okay, to make that work with my organic message and vibe, and the essence of my music is very organic, and the message of the natural order and things. So to balance that, I thought, okay, that's got to be the theme of what I explore within the content of the album as well, So being in an era and a generation where we're so attached to our devices, even the way we get our music and we get our entertainment and things like that is usually coming from some sort of technology or the internet or something. And now with all the AI, artificial intelligence everywhere, and being constantly tracked and constantly, just the constant access, everybody has access to you and to everything around them.
Right.
Which has goods and bad, you know what I mean? Like, just like anything else, any tool that can be used for good can also be used for bad. So yeah, it's just something that we need to be honest about and balance and take careful consideration and be mindful. You know what I mean?
Right. And I really appreciate, because you accepting that moving towards what mostly the youths are embracing, or the new era is embracing, which is the digitalization of most of the stuff, including the sound. And it's really a subject most old-time producers or just anyone involved in the previous production, they were really into the live music. And it has been a discussion, because most of the producers right now, you find someone just a laptop and a lot of plugins, and it can produce anything, any live. Most of the live sound are produced by a live band. It can be produced with different plugins. Just a producer, the laptop can really maneuver that. How different is how do you find the difference between the live and the digital sound? And do you think it's going to wipe out the old instrumental, or it's just a complement for the analog instrumental?
I don't think it will wipe out. You can never really replace the feel. You can replace the sound of certain things, but you can never get that feel.
Right.
And that's also something that we kind of touch on in the lyrics and things, is that you know, the synthetic imitations serve their purpose, and they might be good for certain things, but we should never fool ourselves into thinking that it is replacing the real thing, you know. And you see that now with things like vinyl, like it's cycling back into an era where vinyl is more popular and it's outselling CDs and things like that. So people know, you know, people can tell the difference at the end of the day. And recording on tape and things like that, you know, like people have always said that you can't match that warmth of recording on tape. So I think, yeah, it will always cycle back, but yeah.
Right. Now, talking about digital degeneration, the album is going to come out, I think around 23rd of June, and the new single which was released 9 days ago. I think it's part of the new album. Can you give us just more insights about the digital degeneration album in terms of what the listeners can expect in terms of themes, in terms of sounds?
Yeah, for sure. I try to be quite versatile with my productions as well, because I'm very eclectic. I mean, obviously reggae and dancehall roots music is the core of my influence, but I'm very eclectic, you know, so I try and reflect that in my music as well. So there's a little bit of dancehall, a little bit of hip hop. There's some kind of soul, R&B kind of vibes. There's a bit of a poppy, I don't even know what to call it, like an Afro pop kind of thing. And yeah, I feel like in the last couple years, especially, my music has matured, you know, lyrically. Like, I try to be a bit more personal in this one and honest about certain struggles, you know, as well as obviously the spiritual, you know, conscious songs and some other kind of cheeky, playful songs and, you know, flirty kind of things. And it's, yeah, like being, as I said, like growing and being more mature and being honest about self and exploring different aspects of self and being more balanced, and not trying to be sort of self-righteous about certain things, like being more honest and personal. And yeah.
Right.
So I hope that comes through, you know what I mean? Because I remember a few years ago people telling me that my lyrics come across as negative at certain times, and that's obviously not the intention, but I think that political message can be interpreted as a negative thing, whereas you have to address the negatives to make a positive, right? But I've made an effort to try and put some more uplifting kind of vibes in there as well, and sweet songs and things. So yeah, there's definitely something for everybody on there.
Right. You've mentioned the album comprising different vibes in terms of reggae, dancehall, and early in your career you started just reggae, and you've moved into trying different sound, hip hop, dancehall. How would you generally describe your style now, and just your whole transformation and understanding different? Just trying to blend your music and being versatile. How would you describe the whole transformation?
Yeah. Well, to go back even further, you know, as a youth, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. I mean, I still love Michael Jackson. I used to dance a lot before I could sing or play instruments and things. Then I started learning instruments and found my voice. And so, yeah, I mean, when I first started playing guitar and things, I was doing more acoustic kind of music, like easy listening, blues, roots kind of stuff.
Right.
Jack Johnson, Ben Harper, which they have a lot of reggae influence in their music, but I didn't know it at the time. Then I started getting into reggae when I was around 15 years old, and found out that I had a Rasta uncle who was part of the first reggae sound system in Australia. Soulmaker Sound, so connected with them and, you know, immersed myself in the culture and learnt about the history and the roots and the spiritual, you know, the Rasta side of things. So then that all started to come through in my music. So it was very much a reggae, like conscious Rasta perspective for a long time. I didn't even sort of give dancehall and things the light of day because I was always just, you know, taught that that was slackness. And but the more I was exposed to it, the more I sort of started to understand that side of the culture and or understand why that is an important aspect of the culture as well. And just yeah, started to appreciate that and sort of get into that side too. Now in the last couple of years, Afrobeats has really started to take over my playlist as well, as it probably has for everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that wave is influencing my thing at the moment too. I've done a few Afrobeats tunes with, you know, collabs with some brethrens in South Africa and Nigeria and things. So they'll be coming out soon too. So yeah, man, like obviously, like I said, reggae is the core, but there's a lot of hip hop influence in there, a lot of R&B, and now the Afrobeats and dancehall thing too. So
Right.
yeah, pretty versatile and dynamic, I think.
Yeah, you've mentioned about your early youth trying different music and trying to blend just different things. What would you say was your turning point? A turning point where when you realize that now this is something that I want to go into and just this is the way for me. Creating music is my passion and is the way I want to go. What was that turning point for you?
It's a good question. I don't know because, like I said, as a youth, I was already dancing. I always knew that music was somehow like I always envisioned myself on stage. I always envisioned myself as music being the main element in my life, but didn't know it would be singing. But yeah, it's hard to say where the turning point was. I mean, definitely spiritually, there was the turning point of meeting Vaughn Benjamin from Midnight. Like that was a huge, very profound moment in my life. And you know, at that point, I was young, spiritually very young,
Right.
like outwardly Rasta, but not really living the liberty. And that was sort of a huge point where I sort of started to get more serious about things. But musically, I don't know, man. That's a very difficult question to ask. I think it's always been there in some form. You know, it's just I was always writing poems, and then I started turning them into songs. But yeah, I mean, I've been performing
Right.
live music since I was about 15 years old, like singing original songs and things. So
Right.
yeah.
You know, it was. I was even telling my DJ, our guest tonight, is a reggae artist from Australia, and he couldn't. It was like, oh, so we have different artists also from Australia, because mostly reggae is associated with not only in Caribbean but also Europe. But how difficult was you, or how challenging was you for you picking to do reggae early in your career, and how some of the challenges you had to overcome in terms of doing reggae and just incorporating other sounds in it?
Yeah. Yeah, very good question. I think Australia has a very limited understanding of reggae music. It didn't really take root here as much as it did in other places around the world on its first sort of global wave. You know, we had some great cornerstone bands like No Fixed Address and things like that, but there wasn't sort of a huge foundation for it here. So yeah, it's often like reggae music and rastas are often conflated with hippies, and they don't even realize that it's a spirituality. And obviously my skin tone, I mean, my family's Anglo-Indian, but I have very fair skin and blue eyes, you know, mixed heritage. So I'm perceived a certain way.
Right.
But you know, there's a very shallow sort of understanding, so it is hard, and it's a small population out here. It's far away from the rest of the world and things, so it is difficult to get past a certain point. So I think I'm at that point in my career as well where I'm trying to branch out and get into some other places. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think like it wasn't even a thing where I sort of decided, okay, I'm gonna do reggae music. Like it just started coming through in my songwriting because I was immersing myself in the culture and listening to so much reggae. Like the patois lyrics and things started to come through while I was writing blues and acoustic, easy listening songs, you know? So it was just kind of a natural inclination. And yeah, I mean, I think we always face those sort of judgments and misunderstandings, misconceptions from other people. But if we believe in something, you know what I mean, we just have to stick to,
Right,
you know, stick
right.
to the truth. Yeah.
Right. We have the new release. Also, it came out last month, and we want to just the DJ to play it a little bit. Then we come and talk about these collaborations. Selector.
Connections, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that was my intention. I was like, okay, I'm gonna really try and get some local artists on the album, but it was just really difficult. I mean, it was during COVID, you know, so there's enough things that go on. Everybody was dealing with different things, but it was really difficult to get the local artists on the album that I wanted, you know. And I like to. It's not like I have a lot of brethren who I got local brethren here who I could have got on the album, but I like to work when things are the right project, not just for the sake of collaborating, you know. So
Right.
yeah, I tried to get some local artists. I was just met with a lot of resistance for different reasons. So these other connections just happened really organically, you know, whether it was me reaching out to them or them reaching out to me.
Right.
You know, so just for the people who don't know, we have Kabaka Pyramid, Bugle, Micah Shamaya, Pressure Bus Pipe, and Tamika. Some of these artists I've been in contact with for a few years, and we've been talking about collaborating, and they happened to reach out to me during the process of while I was making the album and said, hey, do you have anything we can work on, you know? Sometimes it was me reaching out to them, and they were just very professional and did it overnight and sent things back to me the next day, and not just that, but very supportive and being on the phone to me, like having WhatsApp video calls and just reasoning about different things. And you know, so like I said, just very supportive and like such an organic, wholesome process. Like yeah, been very, very grateful and very blessed for the way things worked out, you know. It's a
Right.
very exciting time.
Right. I'll definitely say it can't get better than this because the collaboration incorporated in this album, it's great. It's great. It's got to be some of the best collaboration in an album we've seen in 2023. And what do you hope this collaboration will bring in terms of just this digital degeneration?
I mean, for myself personally, you know, like I said, I feel like at this point in my career, I'm trying to move beyond the horizons of Australia, get into the international festivals, and you know, start traveling and touring and paying respect to the roots and getting over to places like Jamaica and the Caribbean and Africa, and you know, and go and see my roots in India and in Asia and Europe, and just, yeah, man, really connect with the people and find, because like I said, I feel like there's so much more for me beyond Australia, so just really find my peoples and my scene. But for the music, for the culture, for the people, man, I hope it helps the Australian scene to build and flourish as well, because there's so much talent out here and there's a lot of really good things happening, but it's just so difficult to keep them consistent and keep them flourishing and sustained because the population's small and it's far away from the rest of the world, as I said. So
Right.
I hope it sort of shines the light on the Australian scene a bit as well, because I feel like for such a long time the spotlight was just on the US, and then in the last 5 to 10 years it's shifted to include the UK as well.
Right.
And yeah, I'm hoping Australia gets some of that limelight too, because there's a lot of talented brethren and sisters out here, you know.
Right, right. You know, for me personally, I was listening to this album, and I would say the first track, Digital Degeneration, was my favorite because of the animation part, the concept on how it tried to show how we're interacting with the matrix. I would rather say with the matrix, and just it brought out a very deep theme that currently we are exploring in terms of people being caught up in the digital world and moving to the unnatural order. What's your favorite track? I know all of them, but are your babies? But which one is that which you wake up in the morning and it's playing in the mind? It's playing in the mind all the time.
For me, I agree. I have to agree with you. My personal favorite is Digital Degeneration. That's why it was the lead single. That's why we did, you know, such a brilliant animation video. Big up Digital Crow. Um, yeah, that's personally my favorite. The lyrical content in that, the message, the video, like I'm very, very proud of that one. I mean, I love the album and, you know, Behave Your Mouth and so many big tunes, but yeah, Digital Degeneration is definitely my favorite. I get emotional sometimes when I'm performing it because
Right.
it's something I'm so passionate about, and I feel those lyrics so much when I perform it, you know.
Right.
And I just gotta say to people, you know, this is most of my lyrics. I've said it before. Most of my lyrics, 9 times out of 10, it's pointing the finger at myself. Same time, you know what I mean? Like, we're all guilty of these things. It's not a judgment or condemnation thing. Like, this message is from the Most High. That's why my name is Jatang. So I'm tapping into something and receiving a message that's for all of we. You know what I mean? That's for myself as well. So yeah.
Right, right. Earlier you mentioned about your roots in India. Have you tried maybe exploiting also that crowd, or you just focusing on Europe and probably Caribbean and Australia?
No, definitely want to, like, as I said, I definitely want to get over to India, trying to make some networks there and collabs and things. I have a track written and recorded that's hopefully coming soon. It's produced by another local crew. And we were talking about maybe going over to India to do some shows and
Right.
film a music video and things while we're there. So yeah, that's definitely something on the cards.
Right.
Hopefully soon.
Right.
And I really want to get over to Kenya, man. I have some links there, and I really want to work with Kathy Matete. Big up Kathy Matete.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You're even talking about Kathy Matete, and we were having some plays of last Saturday event. Richie Spice was performing in Nairobi, and
Yeah.
we had Kathy Matete performing. We just played her video here. We had Lavosti and a couple of artists, and even Turbulence is coming I think the coming week.
Yeah.
So it will be great to see you down here, man. It will be really, really great, you know?
Yeah, man. Soon come. Soon come.
Yeah. Now talking about the album, is it complete? Are the tracks ready? All of the tracks, and by 23rd, or there's still something cooking, additional stuff cooking?
No, the album is a wrap. It's done and dusted. It's yeah, it was a long process. It was mostly done throughout COVID, you know, so it was a couple of years.
Right.
And I played most of the instruments, and then there's some guest features doing live horns and drums and things. But yeah, it's all done and mixed and mastered by Douglas Wardrop in the UK, Conscious Sounds. And yeah, just the video, pretty much just a couple of visualizers we're still working on, but yeah, everything else is ready to go.
What has
And
been,
big up Evidence Music as well, the label that's is blessing us with, you know, the release and everything.
right? What has been the greatest highlight during this whole process of recording Digital Degeneration?
Greatest highlight. Man, it's just really nice to hear the positive feedback and how far and wide it's kind of spread, and you know, sometimes, especially social media and things, it's really hard to gauge how it's being received by people, and how many people are aware of what you're doing and really paying attention to things. So when I interact with people in person, and they're aware of what I'm doing, and they're like, oh man, I've been seeing what you're up to, and just really supportive, that's just really nice, man. It warms the heart. So yeah, give thanks to everybody for the support every time. It means the world.
Right, right. Now, as we wrap it up, maybe you could tell us where people can get to follow you, message you, buy your music, and just get in touch with you.
Yeah, man. So it's Jatung, Jahtung, on any platform. And yeah, Bandcamp is you can purchase the things because streams and things are great. But it's very difficult to get any revenue from that. But if you want to support the thing, Bandcamp is amazing because they give a lot of the proceeds to the artist.
Right.
But I've got my new merch and things in line coming soon, and the CDs are coming this week. So I'm gonna have them available online soon as well, so you can get the physical thing if you're more sentimental like me.
Right.
And yeah, man, we'll have the album launch soon, and hopefully we'll be touring near you soon.
Right. So anything in the loop in terms of new project, or it's still the album you're promoting?
Yeah, I've been focusing on the album for a while, and throughout lockdown and things, I kind of said no to some other projects or put them on the back burner because I was focusing on the album. So at the moment, I'm sort of returning to some other projects. I've been touring with some big artists recently, and we decided to collab together. So I've got a few other things in the pipeline, and I've been working with some other producers throughout this whole time, doing a few little EPs and things. So yeah, there's always, I think any artist knows how it goes. There's always collaborations and projects and things in the pipeline.
Right.
So yeah, stay tuned. There'll be plenty more coming soon.
Right. Any last words to your fans out there, to the listeners of Reggae Iration, to the Kenyan fans, and also one question we ask every artist: any fun facts about Jatung?
Any fun fact about Jatung? I've given you a few already. I used to dance. Big Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah.
Anglo-Indian. Oh, I guess when I was 15 years old, we traveled around the country, Australia, in a motorhome that we built. So my parents bought an old school bus, and for 3 years, my father and I and a few friends, we worked on it and converted it into a motorhome. And we traveled around the country for 6 months when I was a kid. So
right,
that
6
was
months.
An amazing experience.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, an amazing experience for a youth, to have that kind of education, a real education, man.
Yeah. Really appreciate, man. Really appreciate. Your last words to the people?
Yeah. No, like I said, give thanks for all the support, and I hope to see you all on the road soon because I really want to get out there and meet everybody and just connect and share with you guys. So big love. Thank you so much for having me. Big up Reggae Iration every time.
Right.
And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks so much for the support.
We appreciate, and also we look forward to you. The DJ is really appreciating your music and is looking forward for you also to send more of your music, your latest release, and we'll be glad to play them on our show right here. Yeah, and we really appreciate. Yeah, we really appreciate the time. We're looking forward to you conquering the world, with your music. We really appreciate your time.
And Mr. DJ, I like your scratching over my track just before, man. I dig that. Big ups.
Appreciate, man. Appreciate. Bless up, Jatung.
Yes, sir. More blessings, man. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Rastafari. Run it, DJ.
Rastafari.
Nobody come here, start rave and shout. Stop talk and behave your mouth. You don't really got the first clue what you talking about. Better behave your mouth. Say we know nothing for debate about. Don't talk can make me doubt. But when you angle we fi come correct. Don't bother make assumptions and claim what you don't know yet. Don't carry on. Me got no suspect. Me is not a criminal. What make you think say you have to get physical? Your diagnosis critical. You need to the calcify your opinion.
Yo, Babylon boy don't talk to me.
What?
Show respect when you walk to me. I am a king like royalty. My ancestors them fought for me. You attacking me and harassing me like somebody commit grand loss to me. And I don't show the color of my skin, but the same blood flowing on my veins and my arteries. Cool down, Babylon, just take a step back. If you ever touch my dreadlocks, and I figure box their dumb like dreadlocks. You're too loud with your chatting, try to correct that. No make no drama start, cause that's a setback.
Cool down and behave your mouth. Now better come here, start rave and shout. Stop talk and behave your mouth. Now you not really got the first clue what you talking about. Yeah, better behave your mouth. Say we know nothing for debate about. Nothing talk can make me doubt. Better hold your tongue and I wait it out. Hold on it. Listen me lyrical analogy. Rebel with a cause, we challenge your authority. Hey, Mr. Politician, check your priority. Meditate and find some clarity.
Hey, watch it, you know.
Some say it help you use less profanity. Alright. Balance the positive and negative polarity. Lion and lamb duality. Some me avoid Babylon like allergy.
Them cannot stop the evolutionary progress happening. Universal brotherhood has spear them like a javelin. Them office you is struggling.